The two types of interest we're going to be learning about today are compound and simple. I want to focus on simple for a moment. Interest, which remember is defined here, is equal to whatever the principal balance is multiplied by the rate, I should say rate, multiplied by the time in years. Okay, and the reason it's in years is because the interest rate is generally expressed in years. Okay, whether you're borrowing money or whether you're investing in an account. Okay, so you will see this formula written I equals PRT. Okay, I equals PRT. Now, assuming that my loan was a simple interest loan, which it's not, my interest that I am going to pay on my $12,000 note is going to be principal times rate, which I said was 6.9%, so it's going to be 0.69 times time. And we are doing it over the course of 6 years. No, that sounds crazy. It's just how life works. So for the privilege of having this lovely car, I am going to pay, most of you can already figure it out, you're right, $1,000 times 0.069, 0.28 times 6% per year. Over the course of 6 years, that much in interest. Okay? Principal times rate times time for the privilege of borrowing that money. Okay? If you take the 6, or if you take that amount and divide it out over the monthly payment, that means every month I'm paying $70 for the privilege of borrowing that money. Okay, 6 years is 12 months in a year. I pay a payment every month. So you might look at this and go, holy cow, that's crazy. Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah. $70 out of my $210 a month is going just towards their fee for doing nothing other than processing my loan every month. Okay, let's get a little deeper into this. So now that we know about my personal life, let's go and look at the bonds up above lesson 7.7. Like a savings account, a bond is another way for you to earn money with your money. And I would love to earn money with my money. If I had money, I would, but I don't. So balance, let's look at this. So bonds. People buy bonds as a way to earn money. If a $1,500 bond earns 4% simple interest per year, how much will it earn after 2 years? Okay, so interest equals principal, which in this case is the deposit or the purchase of the bond, the value of the bond, the value of the savings account, okay, the value of the stocks, if it were to work that way, okay? Interest is equal to principal times rate times time. What is the principal? Anybody get what the principal was here? $1,500. And what was the interest rate they were going to pay you? 4%, 0.04. And the time frame in years?
2.
So?
120.
Say again?
120.
You already solved it? So if you didn't, 1,500 times 0.04 is 60 times 2, 120. So you, my friends, would earn a whopping $120 on top of that money for just putting it into a bond. and then 2 years later cashing it out.
Not too many zeros.
Yep. Okay. All right. Let's do checkpoint 1, bottom of the page. Simple interest is actually quite easy. So checkpoint 1, in the same scenario, in a similar situation, a $1,000 bond earns 6% for 4 years. Let's find out the earnings. Okay? Interest equals PRT, principal times rate times time. Okay, what's the principal?
1,000.
$1,000. Interest rate,
0.06.
so it's 6%. Converted to a decimal, how many years?
4.
So if you multiply it out, what do you get?
240.
$240 is the interest that you will receive. 6% is pretty high. I don't see that many bonds make that much. So when your account earns interest, that money then is added to your principal. So at the end, 4 years, you have 1,000 plus 240, and this becomes the balance. Okay? That becomes the balance. They combine what you earned with what you had. It's your balance. In the same way, as I make my car payment and a little bit comes off of the principal, okay, that becomes my balance. Balance due, okay, or balance available, okay. Banking information for you, okay. Another way to solve that is, and this is going to look tricky, but it's really not. Balance is equal to the principal you started with added to the interest that you earn, which is PRT, right? Okay? And they refer to balance as A, account balance, principal plus PRT. So the principal was 1,000 in the above example. The interest, after we solved it, was 240. Okay? You see, I'm already doing this. But in case you don't recognize it, you simply add that interest onto the original amount. All right? Moving on to example 2. Finding an interest rate. You get a summer job at a bakery. You save $1,400 of your pay and deposit it into an account that earns simple interest. This is the type of interest we're working with. After 9 months, the balance is $1,421. Find the annual interest rate. Okay. Do you notice how they gave you 2 different formulas above? Mm-hmm. You can either do it this way, or if you factor out the P, it becomes A equals P1 plus RT. Okay, this is the simpler version of this. I factored out the P. Okay, I factored out the P. Okay, so if I plug in what I know, I will be able to find whatever piece I'm missing. And in this case, what am I missing? The interest rate? I think I am. We know that what she deposited was $1,400. That's going to be the principal. 1 plus. Time is 9 months. How do we convert that to years? 3/4 or 0.75? Okay, so 0.75 multiplied by R. You guys see that? We don't know R, but we did know T, so we plug that in right there. Okay? You guys remember the distributive property? Multiply 1,400 by 1. and multiply 1,400 by 3/4 R. 1,400 by 0.75. 1050 R. Oh, I forgot to put the account balance after the deal. 1421. Okay. How do I solve this? Subtract 1,400 from both sides. 21 is equivalent to 1050 times R. Divide by the coefficient of R, and you'll get a decimal value. Oops, clear. 21 divided by 1050. 0.002, that's more like it. R equals 0.02. 2% is all you earned on your money. 2%. Okay? Which makes sense. I mean, really, 3/4 of a year, you're not going to earn a lot. You're earning $21, so. Okay? The rate at that bank was 2%. This formula right here, plug in what you're missing. And you can do it here too, it's just more work. Okay, that other one, the factored version, is much, much quicker to work with. Let's do checkpoint 3. Checkpoint 3. Find the unknown quantity. Looks like we don't have principal. We don't have principal, do we? So, I know the account balance. So, A equals P1 plus RT. Okay. We know the account balance, which is $1424.50. We don't know what principal is, but we do know what the rate is, 0.035. And the time, 6 months, 0.5, right? 3.5%, right? Does it say 3.5%? Okay, just making sure. So, P, we're going to distribute after we solve this. So this is 0.035 times 0.5. Whoops, that isn't right. Yeah, it is. This value, after you plug it in, okay, that's nice and easy. We can just add those two things together, and you get the product of the sum of these is 1.0175, okay, multiplied by P, because I added these two together and multiplied it by P, is equal to 1424.50. To solve for P, take this amount and divide it by the coefficient of P. 1424.5 divided by 1.0175, 1,400 bucks. P equals 1,400. Okay, that's checkpoint 3. Okay, simple interest, unfortunately, even though it's the easier of the two to solve, it's not the common one. At least for loans. The common one is compound interest. They charge you money for the money you borrowed plus the principal that's piling on top of it. Okay? Please take a look at the below little chart there. Assuming you put $50 in the savings account and it earns 2%, everybody should be looking at the bottom on the chart. Year 1, I got 50 bucks in. Okay? I earned 2%. So the result at the end of the year is 50 times the sum of that. Year 2, whatever I had, it gets added again. Year 3, whatever I had here, receives an additional chunk on top of it. Now, as weird as that looks, it simply shows the following. the account balance is equivalent to, real similar so far, but here's where it got weird. Instead of R times time, it's R to the power of time in years. Okay, for each year, it is exponentially powered, raised. And if it's a compound interest on a savings account, which it actually is, that's good for you, because even when you earn interest, then they pay more interest on that. But in the loan scenario, it's not great. Okay? Calculating compound interest. Okay? If I deposit $1,500 into, if I deposit $1,500 into an account that earns 2.4%, so 1 plus 0.024%, compounded, it's compound, not simple. Find the balance after 6 years. Okay, so when you have a power following a parentheses, that means the 1.024 sum has to be raised to the 6th power. Assuming you have a decent calculator, you will plug in 1.024 exponent of 6. Not sure if I got it right or not. Times 1,500. Yes. Okay, so here's how my calculator works. I don't know how yours works. Okay, but the sum of 1 and 1.024 to the, stay with me, to the 6th power equals that. 1.15 whatever. Okay, I'm just going to leave it. I'm not even going to touch this though. This is going to get multiplied by 1,500. So leave it like this and click times that 1,500. And you get something that looks like that. Okay? Cut off your coins after the pennies, round if necessary, and you end up with 17.29.38, nothing rounds. Okay? Notice they said it's about 17.29.38. That's just to kind of allow for rounding errors in case you made one somewhere. I'm not going to be real fussy if you're off by a penny. If you're off by more than a penny, then you rounded horribly. All right? So you've got to be able to know the difference between compound and finding whatever piece is missing, if necessary, and simple and finding whatever piece is missing using what you're given. Okay? That is going to be the challenge today, and if you follow the formulas, you'll be just fine. Okay? You follow the formulas, you'll be fine. If you don't, it's going to be a mess. I'll let you get started.